Yes. So, for those who don't know, I chose Boston's last album, which is called Life, Love, and Hope. Came out in like 2013, and I guess as opposed to the Poops, the band Boston is one of the best, bands of the 70s, right? Everyone knows the debut album Boston. It's amazing. It's like groundbreaking album of the 70s, rock album. The lead guy, Tom Schultz, he went to MIT as a sound engineer. Basically, he built a studio in his basement, and he just made this album himself, just because he's a genius. No one did that in the 70s. And he like created his own like guitar effects and like made this crazy album. Anyway, fast forward to 2013. I think he forgot everything he knew or something. Like, it's just like so weird to me, like that this album sounds the way it does. It literally, first off, if you listen to the album, what is going on with the drums? The drums sound like it's like the same drum pattern every song. First off, and they sound like dead. There's no feel. It's like it's all quantize the shit out of everything. Everything sounds like you're listening to, like, when you go and look up a karaoke song, a version of a song, and it's not quite the real version, and everything sounds kind of like bland. Everything just feels so bland, and it's like, what is going on?
I'm sorry to interrupt, but that is like the perfect description of what that album feels like. Everything just feels polished to the point of having no texture whatsoever.
I know, it's weird because it does sound like it's Boston in a way. You know what I mean? It's got the same like guitar player, basically the lead singer like died like before this, but they were able to. I think they were working on some songs for a while, so he has in some of the songs, which is also kind of concerning that they've were working on the album for a while, but. Yeah, and there's this one, like there's two songs in a row that I think if you really want to get the idea of how bad this album is, let me pull it up. It's if you were in love, and then the song after it, Someday, are like some of the two worst songs I've ever heard in my life. Like first off, it's like it starts off with this like piano, and then like this woman shows up, this vocalist, and it's like, where did you come from? I don't know where they pulled this girl from, but it's just so cheesy and bad. And then the next song is supposed to be like this big epic thing, Someday, and it's just really cringy. Anyway, it's amazing that this album even exists, and I don't know, it just blows my mind. Hopefully
this album.
Yeah, I was just gonna say, hopefully they don't do another album after this. I think the Boston should be done.
Yeah, it sounds like my impression of it was like if like a Boston cover band like that plays at like your local bar like comes out with an album of like their own songs, like this would be it, because it like sounds. You listen to these songs and you're like, this is like, because some of the singers are different too than like the regular Boston singer, whatever his name is. But like but you'll be listening to it and then you'll hit a chorus and it sounds like a Boston chorus. You're like, oh, like, okay, this sounds like Boston. And then it just like divulges a lot of, and like I said, I agree, this just super bland songs. They kind of sound like they're trying to be like modern. Like there's some like, I hear some like pop punk in some of the songs that I didn't hear before in some of their classic stuff. And it just doesn't work. It just falls flat. So they're kind of stuck in the middle of like who they used to be and like who they think they should be in 2013. And I don't think who they think they should be in 2013 is accurate either. So yeah, this album fucking sucks. If you like Boston, you can skip this one, I think.
Yeah.
In fact, we recommend you skip this one.
Yeah.
I think I have a perfect segue, which is that, and we'll get there because your album is next and last. it was very weird listening to your album, which I would say genre-wise would be classified as pop punk if I had to give it a specific genre classification. And then listening to Boston, which I thought had nothing to do with pop punk, delving into pop punk at certain points. And I'm like, wait a minute, why are we still here? You know, why are we still in this, like, you know, it really sounded like at moments it felt like Boston. And then it just felt like it went through like this filter, like, you know, like it felt like you're drinking your favorite soda and then someone just put in a lot of sugar, but like, you know, like so much sugar that you can't even taste it anymore. Yeah. So you're like, hey, that kind of tastes like Coke, but good God, this is just so sweet and gross. And like it's stuck to the back of my throat and I just want to gag and throw up. That's kind of what this album felt like. It was just like some of the songs were like, gross, like just so much, like just so much production. None of it is any good. The drums, yeah, like I have nothing more to say about that. You're spot on about that, Matt. That there's something off about them. I just didn't like anything about it. It was one of the most mediocre albums I've ever listened to in my entire life, to the point that it's just terrible, just not good.
Yeah, I'm gonna give it a. Well, I mean, it's like it's hard to watch somebody who you think is like so talented, like this.
Yeah, sorry about that, man. I really like Boston. I'm just like.
Oh, I know. I agree. I'm a huge Boston fan from the first two albums, but
yeah.
But when it comes, when it's like, you know, it's just hard to believe that like this guy who made the first Boston album thought this was a good idea. I don't understand it at all. I'm gonna give it a 10 out of 10 bad, because it's like watching your hero just like lose his mind or something. I don't know. It's weird. At least with like somebody like Paul McCartney's new albums, at least like it sounds like, you know, like
10 out of 10
normal, like a normal thing, you know, like.
You think this is worse than the Poops?
Well, you gave that rating. I would give that a 10 out of 10 as well. I don't know why you don't give that a 10 out of 10.
Well, you don't think that there's room for one thing in this world that might be worse than both of these albums? There's nothing in the world worse than like a shitty Boston album.
I don't know. It's a pretty bad album. It's a pretty bad album.
The Poops like tried. You can tell they were like trying to make bad music. Like here, they're like serious. This is like a real thing.
Yeah. They were serious. They were seriously believing this album.
Challenge your rating,
which makes it worse.
There's something in the world debatably worse than my album, and definitely worse than your album. Somewhere, somehow.
We gotta find it for next time.
I just haven't found it yet. Anyways, hey, it's your rating. You can do whatever you want, but you know.
It is 10 out of 10.
10 out of 10.
Terrible.
10 out of 10.
Well,